What's really going on? Oh, okay. We good. Oh, you muted, but you might have intended to be muted, so that might be what that's about. Unless she not here and I'm talking to myself. Well, no, I'm talking to myself and we live on YouTube. I know that ain't how this works. So I'm gonna have to give.
Yeah, girl, I'm trying to get everything set up. So go on and mute yourself, and we'll come back in just a second.
Okay.
These having trouble connecting to audio looks like. Diva, you gonna help me watch the chat too?
You know you live on YouTube right now, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know. I'm
Oh,
delegating.
okay.
I'm delegating tasks right now.
Responsibilities.
Yeah, yeah. But all right, in just a bit we'll get started.
Snatch that out.
In just a bit we'll get started.
Why am I the only one on the screen? This ain't gonna work. Okay, let me figure. She got it some kind of way. Well, I thought she had.
Didi's still trying to get connected. I think I see her. Well, I thought I saw her face. but that's okay. Let's see. You got time to work it out, girl. No rush. I see you, Dee Dee. I don't see. I still can't see that you have your. There you go, Steven. What's up, brother?
What's up?
We just trying to get everybody to where they can talk to us. Let's see. Okay, Dee Dee's trying to see two options: dial in or call in via device. It's the call in option, right? When you're trying to connect audio.
I was able to. You can just do audio. With
Cause
just the internet too.
I get a like a.
Because it gives me an option over here. If I want to stop the video, I can stop video. I can continue to do audio.
Do you see a speakerphone or like a mic, Dee Dee? One blink for yes, two blinks for no. I don't know if she can. I don't know if she can even hear me. She said, "Is it dial in or call in via device?"
The shit. Tell her try. Pick one. If it don't work, then
pick one. I thought it said call in over internet. That's what mine said.
That's what mine said. Yeah.
So, what? She don't have sound? Because I can see her good. She ain't got
We can
sound?
see her. Yeah, she just can't talk to us.
Say something. I ain't seen her mouth move once. Say something.
I don't think she can hear us.
You don't think she can hear us either? She's direct messaging me though in the chat.
Yeah, I see it. It say, yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Oh shit! I need to go to that.
It's all right. We're gonna figure it out. And I can't invite her to turn her mic on at this point.
Oh yeah, I like that. Hey, I don't know. I'm impressed.
Yeah, we're gonna get started in like just a bit. Get Dee Dee situated. Don't fret, Dee Dee. See her video working. There, Mario. Mario! What's up, girl?
Even took my hair down for
You did. did, and your hair has grown a lot. A whole lot. What's
Missy
going on,
says,
people? Tell your friends. Come on. Join us on the live tonight.
Missy says Dee Dee might have to enable her built-in mic. Perhaps her mic on her computer is not enabled. And maybe I should just type that in the chat.
I mean, I can type it.
I don't even know if she see what I asked because I put some in the chat. I don't know.
She's trying to figure it out though. She gonna get it. It's gonna be all right. This technology, y'all. I ain't figured it all out either. I got us on here, but I needed to be linked to the notification that I already posted. That's my issue. So like this is a completely different link. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. We live though. We live, y'all. Hold on. You cool, Dee? I can see your face. Let's see.
What that shirt say? We out? Is that what that say?
We out.
Yeah, I got that shirt too, just a different font. Yeah.
I just real. Why did y'all tell me I didn't have my
Because I
video
got on
on?
my
I just
family
realized.
hanger today.
Let me show y'all my shirt real quick. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
We scared. Give me. Oh, and it got a tractor on it. Lord.
And then
leave me alone. Ooh.
Yep. What's going on, peeps? Y'all talking at us in the chat? Let me see who talking at us.
Missy
trying
said
to
she
get
had
through
a
my tablet,
laptop
but
for a year.
listen.
She'd had a mic or the camera enabled.
As long as you can hear, but we need to hear you though, Dee Dee. I want to be able to hear you too, so you can speak. You all right? Take your time. No sweat cakes.
Tablet, but listening.
What's going on, Danielle? Hey, Garden and Eden. Missy, what's going on?
Okay.
Oh, she holding it down for me as a mod in the chat. That's what's up. Hey, Rescue Ready.
Dee Dee, do you see any at the bottom of your screen? I'm talking about the Zoom screen, not YouTube. Zoom on your tablet, not your phone. Look at the bottom. You should see a mic. You can test that mic. If you hit the little up arrow, you can test it. Or it'll tell you which mic you're using. And you can also test your speaker. I'm guessing that your mic isn't on.
Didi said, Missy said that she had her laptop for over a year and had not enabled the mic or the camera.
Yes.
Yeah. You better be specific and put a zip code. What are you talking about? My shirt, Missy?
So your tablet doesn't have a mic, or it's not one at the bottom of the Zoom screen?
No mic option, she's saying in the chat. Dang, Didi.
You may have to tap the screen because I know it only comes up when I hover my mouse over it. But if you tap the screen already,
oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Is that her?
Can y'all hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. It was in driving mode. I'm sorry.
Okay. Now you know. That's what's up. Okay, now we just need to see your face again.
It only comes up when I hover my mouse over it. Somebody pause YouTube.
Hold on, it's me, I think.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. No, it's not me.
It was me. I turned the phone on.
Okay. Now we all good? Everybody's in the house. That's what's up. Okay, so everybody camera on. We can see everybody. Yep. Okay, so let's get started. So what's going on? Whose fro is super cute?
Oh,
Muriel.
Who you talking about? Mary or Danielle?
oh, thank you.
Let me see what she talking about. She said
What's up,
somebody's fro is
FR?
super cute.
And Danielle, who else showed up? I already know Missy was here.
You said yes, the shirt. And Missy, why I gotta put a zip code on my shirt? You don't want 40 plus acres in a tractor? Hey, FR Humphrey, what's going on? Let me see what Missy say. Yeah, John. Yeah, she talking about your or Mariel. She talking about your fro. She said your fro is cute, girl.
Ew.
It is cute. It was real short. Her hair has grown a lot.
I saved
Okay, so welcome to the first panel discussion on Barefoot Gardening channel. Thank you all so much for being here. Invite your peeps to come on in. Like, please, the video. We got 11 people in the house right now and 9 likes. So thank you to everyone that went ahead and did that. And tonight, so the original link from the notification is not what we own right now. For some reason, I haven't figured out that technical part yet, how to link this Zoom to the notification that I sent out. But I'm gonna get better at it, I promise. But we here, we live. And so go on and invite your people on in. Now, if you read the notification, you know that tonight our topic, first panel discussion ever on Barefoot Gardening channel, but I'm kind of coming out the gates kind of strong, right? And the reason for this is because over the past 6 months or so, since August of 2020, I have been learning a lot, okay, about myself, about the community that I live in, about law, about regulation, land development code, and all of this. Even though it might not sound that sexy, it does relate to gardening, farming, land ownership, being free in a way that you feel like freedom is for you. And for me, ownership is really, really important to me. So we're just going to talk about some things tonight, but the question of the hour, okay, is Black people, Black farmers, Black growers, what the heck do y'all want from white people? Okay. And so this, I need y'all to hear me loud and clear. And I know y'all know me. I know you know my heart. I know you know who I am. Okay. So you know this is not coming from a place of malice or anger. But it's a question that I'm always asked by white people when they, offer to help me. Okay. And the question is, what can I do for you? And so, I thought it was interesting if we would get the perspective of Black people and what they want from white people. And so I just have some people here tonight. Some you may know, some you don't know. First and foremost, Diva Jones is in the house. Everybody say what's up, Diva.
Hey, Diva.
You know she got a channel. She
She'll be out here in a minute.
yeah, she's pretty dope, y'all. Check her channel out. She regularly, okay, post content. And I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. I'm just kind of giving you a run through of the panel real quick. And then we have D. It's D on the screen, but we know her as DD's Pharmacy. And I really don't think a lot of people have seen your face, DD. No, and she's gorgeous. She is beautiful. And so I'm so glad that she decided to come on tonight. She just drove like how many miles? Traveled how many miles to get home? Yeah. So she's tired, y'all, but she's here. And so I'm excited to have DD's Pharmacy in the house. And then 2 of my have become really good friends and really good confidants since I don't know when I met Mariel, but Mariel is on here as well. She's the one with the cute fro. Hello. But she has been she's had my back for like a minute now, y'all, and we have just met each other, and like literally what, last July,
Yeah, that sounds
June,
right.
July, in a garden chat that our water and soil conservation district, I think, puts on. It's not the extension office, right? It's the water and soil. And literally met her and just hit it off, man. And I feel like I've known her forever. Like I really feel like she's my sister for real. And so she's here, new to gardening, but she's dope in everything. She's dope in gardening too. She really don't think that she knows what she's doing, but she does. Uh, even though she just had 1 year of experience, but she's dope in so many other things. And so I'm gonna let them talk about themselves in just a second. And then we have Steven. Steven, I met, dang, Steven, what was it, like 6 years ago, 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Steven's a teacher by trade. And he does some other things as well. I'm gonna let him tell you. But that's how I met him. I was working for a mental health institution here in the city, and where I go into schools and check up on some kids. And all the kids that I work with have or had at the time developmental and intellectual disabilities. And so I was introduced to Stephen by way of this child that I was helping. So we was trying to just tag team and figure out how to best help this child in the school, at home, and in all other aspects of his life. And so Stephen and I just kind of hit it off. Then we lost contact because I quit my job. Kind of just floating around, but he knew some people in some of my in-laws, and then boom, all of a sudden we back together again. So I'm excited to have Stephen in the house. So I want y'all to chat it up, okay, as we go on along with this discussion. Again, if you're just joining us, hey Garden Eden, hey Bessiette, what's going on? If you're just joining us, the topic tonight for the discussion is Black people, Black gardeners, Black farmers. What do you want from white people? Okay. And again, I need y'all to hear me loud and clear. Loud and clear. We are going to be respectful. Y'all know how I get down. I love to be transparent. I love to talk about all kinds of things. I love to show y'all the good, bad, and ugly, right? But I want us to have a mature conversation about this. And the reason why I chose this particular topic was because I'm always asked that question. And for the last 6 months have been asked that question a lot, especially since I pursued the purchase of a 10-acre farm here in the city. People just want to know how they can help. But I've had a lot of white people ask me that question, right? And so I'm just inviting this panel to come along with me and just go through a discovery process, share their truth and about their thoughts in relation to the topic. And then we're gonna welcome some, hey Angela's Garden Sense, what's going on? And we're definitely gonna welcome y'all to conversate with us, ask questions, throw comments out there, let us know what y'all are thinking as well, okay? This is not a bashing session, okay, against white people. This is not what this is for. But we do want to be honest and share our truth. Share some factual information. Some of the stuff will kind of guide the conversation, but lay back, relax. Okay, we're just gonna have a good time. So okay, so let's start with the panel. I want the panel to introduce themselves, and then we'll jump right into some questions. I got some things to get us started, so no worries, okay? But if everybody can tell us who you are, a little bit about yourself, how you came to Garden Farm, but just share some things, whatever you want to share. Let's start with Diva.
Why we got to start with me? No, I'm just kidding. For those that don't know, I've been gardening for. Am I muted? Am I good?
No, go ahead.
I've been gardening for, I don't know, 7-8 years, but my family grew stuff on both sides actually. But my great grandparents, they actually farmed for a living. They never worked for anybody else, not like 9-to-5 type work. If they did any, Iris, hold it down. If they did any type of work for anybody else, it pretty much was side gigs. You know how you do little stuff, you know, for people to trade or barter with people. They never really did any of that. But the main influence as far as gardening was my granny. She gardened. She was from Louisiana and moved to Dallas. She gardened in her backyard, and I never figured I would get into it when I was a kid. I thought it was stupid. I didn't want to do it. But you know, you get older, you start to buy your own food, and you figure out some things. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how I got into gardening, and I've been doing it ever since. And you know, I just keep doing it, regardless of how hot it is or how cold it is, or but you know. So yeah, I do have a channel. My channel kind of focuses on more informational stuff and giving people information and telling people that there is no one way to garden. You have to garden the way that makes sense for you, because people will tell you all this stuff and try to make like, oh, this is the way. No, there is no way. You have to garden for you. You have to garden for what works for you, because everybody ain't gardening the same. Some people in containers, some people in the ground, some people have 40 acres, some people have a quarter of an acre. It just depends on what you have space, time, energy for. That's another thing. Some people work, some people retired, some people stay at home moms. It just depends. So
Yeah.
you can't do everything the same. So yeah, that's pretty much me.
All right, let's pass the mic to Stephen.
My name is Steven. I run Hope Garden in Louisville, Kentucky. I run a therapeutic garden. So my whole thing was that I was seeing what was going on in the community. I seen a particular area that was like drug infested. There was a lot of prostitution, a lot of things that's just going on in that community that needed to be addressed. And I was just brainstorming on ways that I can address it. And so I brought a plot of land, started a garden there, and you know, community partners come in and help me feed the community and things like that. And so that's kind of what I do. I'm a teacher, and I went on and got my counseling degree, so I understand more about how we just need how therapeutic counseling can. How therapeutic gardening can be, and also as far as the how a lot of our troubles come from trauma, and that right there is just a way us just to get rid of, you know, us to work it out in the garden. So that's kind of what I do.
That's what's up. Thank you. Dee.
Hi.
Hey, girl.
So, hey. So, I'm Deanna. I go by D or Dee Dee. That's my channel name, Dee Dee's Pharmacy, spelled Farmacy. So, because, you know, food will heal you. Herbs will heal you. I'm a truck driver. That's what I do, you know, as far as like earning my living. And I came into gardening in 2017, driving trucks. I love music, but I can only listen to so much. I had to occupy my mind. And so while I was out there, I started studying, you know, via YouTube University and watching documentaries. And so one of the documentaries that I came across was GMO OMG. So when I watched that, I thought to myself, you know, maybe there's something more to this as it relates to health. You know what I'm saying? I started to understand that through genetically modified food, you're getting, or we are getting, low nutritional food, right? And so basically it ends up leading to a lot of sickness, because your body is not getting nourished like it's supposed to. And so then your cells don't form like they're supposed to. So your body does not heal itself like it's supposed to. So I said, you know what? With me having noticed a change in my body, I said I needed to do something. And I had been doing things, but it wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? Like I just wasn't seeing the results. And so I said, well, I need to change the food that I'm eating. And maybe not just that, I need to start growing the food that I'm eating. And then that way I'll know for sure what I'm putting into my body to help me, and not just to help me, but to help other people in my community, you know? And I just kind of went down this whole rabbit hole about food and how we're basically getting poisoned 8 ways from Sunday, you know, from the herbicides, the pesticides, from genetically modified seeds, being low nutritional value, not getting herbs into our diet. And I decided that I needed to learn, because that's one of the things that I just have to do. I have to be learning. And when I learn something, I can't just keep it to myself. I share the information. I do tons of research, but then I share the information. If I know it, you're going to know it too, especially if you want to know it. So, you know, that's what got me off into growing my own food. Plus, some of the social oppressive things that we are under is directly tied back to food and agriculture. So, you know, there's a whole thing there that also has me growing food. So that's about me.
Awesome. Thank you. Mario, last but not least.
I'm Mariel, and I run Fifth Element Farms, also known as Apocalyptic Acres in Louisville, Kentucky.
Explain why. Wait a minute. Explain why you call it Apocalyptic Acres first.
Well, when we started growing, it was the middle of the the beginning of the pandemic, and it felt like the apocalypse. So, Apocalyptic Acres.
Got it. Got it. I love it.
We grow on a formerly vacant lot that we added a high tunnel greenhouse to. There's an abandoned house next door to us, so we commandeered that and the vacant lot next to that, and use those 3 spaces to grow food for the people who live on that street. We produce more than my friend Michael and I would ever be able to eat with our small family, so we just take bags of corn and tomatoes and cantaloupe and whatever, and give it away to people who live on the street.
Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. So you all utilize, most of you all are growing in your, let's see, DD and Diva, y'all are growing on your residential property, correct? And then DD has a community garden plot as well. Okay. And then Stephen, did you own the piece of land, or do you own the piece of land? You do own the piece of land you're on now, gardening,
Yes.
right?
I bought it this year, yes.
You bought it from a family member, correct?
Yeah, I bought it from a family. It wasn't my family member, but I bought it from a family.
Okay. Bought it from a family. And then he's trying to, so I had talked a little bit with y'all about how I have been engaged in our city's vacant lot land bank. And so Mariel and Stephen have experience in purchasing properties, or trying to purchase properties, vacant properties, okay, to grow food on. So there's like tons of different avenues that you can use. I mean, if you don't have the space, people always talk about that. I don't have enough space. I don't have enough space, right? But there's all kinds of different ways that you can make it happen. And so that vacant lot, I never really thought about that until I joined the Urban Ag Coalition here in our city. Just getting in groups of people and talking about urban agriculture. Never thought about purchasing a vacant lot to grow food on. So I love that idea. I love it. Somebody said they're hearing a lot of buzzing. I'm not sure.
Yeah, if you check, y'all look at the Zoom chat. Somebody phone or something. Now it's gone, but now it's back now.
Okay, I'm not sure. Okay, sorry about that, Beshit. But thank you for letting me know. We need to know those things, okay? Because I didn't hear it.
It's better now, a little bit, but
yeah, just me. I like it too. I love the idea. And it doesn't have to be acres and acres of land, right? Especially in urban areas, it's hard to find more than, because these lot sizes are so small, at least in the city that we in. So, you might find a quarter of an acre or less than a quarter of an acre, and you can just grow food on that. It doesn't have to be 5, 10, 40 acres, really. Okay. So yeah, I love it. I love the idea. So let's kind of set this up and get into what we're here to talk about. And that is the question: Black people, Black gardeners, Black farmers, Black growers, what do y'all want from white people? And the reason why I picked this question, for those of you all that are just now tuning in, is because when I pursued the purchase of a 10-acre farm here in the city, and I documented some of that. So go on back and watch the my videos on that. But I got a lot of people asking that question, and most of these people were white people, okay, that wanted to help and didn't know what to do, so they asked. And that's okay. I'm not saying that it's not okay. It's just what happened. But I thought it would be interesting to hear the perspective of Black people. Like, what do we really want from white people? I had to actually really think about it, and myself. So outside of their money, right? Money is always great, and we can talk about, or maybe we'll get into finances and how race or identity has shaped our financial decision making, or hasn't shaped it. I don't know. But of course I invite your money. But what else? What else do we expect from white people when they ask that question? How can we help? So who wants to kind of start or lead this off? Or I can, and there's a few things I'm going to reference to as we go. And one of those I mentioned in a previous video, that I'm reading a book called Farming While Black by Leah Penniman. And she also has, she is the co-owner of Soul Fire Farm in New York. And she has a document called the Soul Fire Farm Action Steps and Policy something. I'm gonna try to share the screen here in just a second so you all can see that. But I've been reading her document, and it's pretty good, y'all. Like, I really, because somebody asked her, I was in a conference and somebody asked her that question, and she said, well, we already have this written out. Okay, all you gotta do is take a look at it. And so I'm really excited to show you all, if I can get it up here, what it looks like. And then if you haven't read the book, if you haven't heard of the book before, check it out, Farming While Black. And you don't have to be Black to read it, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty dope. I'm trying to share. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on, here we go. So you can see it. Okay, there we go. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, and so the document is called Food Sovereignty Action Steps. So she's literally laying it all out. What can y'all do? What can anybody do, but specifically white people as well, to help if they want to help. Okay. So I'm gonna try to take some excerpts from her from this action plan that they've created as we go. But anybody want to get us started with the discussion? What do you think, Black people, or what do you want as a Black person in America, a Black farmer, a Black grower, from white people?
Can I say something right quick? I ain't saying
Yes.
I'm starting, but what I'm saying is, do me a favor, everybody mute their mic, because this buzzing.
Can you hear it, the buzzing? Okay.
Yeah. All right, it's gone now. Okay, so go ahead.
What you can start us off. Start us off.
Was you asking what I wanted from white people?
Yeah.
I mean, the long and short of it is, you can cavalierly, or like when you first asked me this question, we talked about this, I told you, I said nothing. But that's really not actually helpful in conversation. It's not, it doesn't really articulate anything. So after I sat down and thought about it, it pretty much was like, what do I want? What I would like, if a person was coming to me genuinely wanting to help my endeavors that had to do with gardening or farming, I first will want understanding. I need them to understand that I don't need them. I don't, and that's not to be rude. It's just that anybody Black know when you come up Black, like we don't get a bunch of like help like how they claim. You know, they try to make it seem like we get a lot of help, but nah, not really. You know what I mean? They'll point to different things that go on and say, oh, those are handouts and this, that, and other. No, it actually hinders you and keeps you back. But so I would like for them to understand, first of all, I really don't need you. But if you are going to help, let your help be genuine and not be in it for, oh, this is what I can get for myself. This is what I can say that I've done for somebody, you know, and I understand it's probably going to be a business agreement of some sort. So we both going to want something out of the deal. I get that. But, you know, let's not be, you know, I don't want to be exploited. I don't want to be, you know, because I'm not finna go exploit them. Like, I don't go seek out anybody to be like, you know, let me help you so that I can be able to say, because I've dealt with people like that before. You know, when after they do something for you, you know, well, I helped her do this is because they want some kind of accolades. No, you know what I'm saying? Understand that whatever it is, it's mine. It's my idea. I started it. You know, if you want to help, that's fine. But, you know, let's mutually negotiate, come to an agreement on what we're going to do. And then if we can't both agree to some terms, let's just not even, we could still be cool, but we're not going to enter into that type of business arrangement. So that would probably be the main thing that I would want. But, you know, I'm just not. Sometimes I'm leery about, you know, especially if it comes to monetary stuff, because people want to play these games. You know, they say one thing, then later on when you get into it, you know, it's something different. So, you know, but I guess that's pretty much all I can say about it, you know, at this moment.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you. You know, in the back of my mind sometimes, and I don't know why I think this way. I'm just being honest. You know, when a white person asks me, well, how can I help you? My immediate thought is, why do you want to help me? You know, like what's in it for you? And instead of just accepting the help, and especially, believe it or not, now, I mean, we just went through this whole big movement, and the movement hasn't stopped, but the Black Lives Matter movement globally, people are marching and protesting police brutality, and all sorts of things related to that. And so and for some reason, you know, out the woodworks, all these white people are coming out of nowhere, it seems like, and they're joining the fight. And that's not new, right? There were white people that joined the fight back in the day. Okay, civil rights. I get it. But I'm just saying, it just seems like it I was like, man, is this more of a trend because of everything's going on? Or is this going to become another fad, just something that happened to happen because of the times that we're in, and it's all going to go away? Like, are they still going to be willing to help me after all the hype, right? And but I always think almost automatically, what is in it for you? Why do you want to help me? And it is hard for me sometimes to receive somebody that says, I want Black growers and farmers to do this. And so I know that you do this. So do you want to be a part of what I'm doing? Or we want to use Black farmers and growers to help us with our business. Would you be interested in that? I don't know. Something about those statements kind of make my skin crawl just a bit. And I'm really not sure where that comes from. And Dee Dee, I already knew you was gonna, because we've kind of already had this discussion. So anyway, Dee Dee, go ahead and tell me what them eyes mean in in that face, because we have had this discussion. But I'm interested to understand what you're thinking right now. Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Hold on. She got to unmute herself. Okay.
So like, you know, that I made was in reference to you saying you don't know where that feeling comes from. Like, we know, and you said we had the conversation before, because we had. The feeling comes from the place in your mind where you know history. So when people come to you who, not that individual, but an individual associated with a group of people who has a history of coming saying, I want to help, but it's always to their benefit and to your detriment. That's the face. That's why I made that face, because we know where it comes from. We know why we're suspicious, because it has never been good for us as a people, especially, and again, it's not bashing white people, because, it's not an emotional thing for me. Just looking at the history, 401 years for Black folks here in America, the entire history of America has been at our expense. The building of America has been at our expense. So when white folks come to us, even though they're nice, even though they're smiling, and say, I want to help, I want to bring you on board, it's always to our disadvantage and to their advantage. So, you said you don't know where that feeling comes from, if you being skeptical. We know where it comes from, and that's where it comes from. Whether we want to feel it or not, that's where it comes from. And we just have to start being honest about it. Like, I understand that people are sensitive. I understand that conversations make people uncomfortable, but they only will make you uncomfortable until you honestly do right. You know what I'm saying? Until you acknowledge the history and you start to take action in the present to change the future and live accordingly. So that's what the face was. Like, we know why you were uncomfortable.
It's so true. Like, I definitely know. But what the hard part is for me to continue to admit that to myself, like, because the question I think is, do we continue to hold the white community accountable for what they did? Okay, not them individually, but are Black people trying to make them feel guilty? Do we want them to feel that guilt? Okay, and then give? All these things are going through my head, and for me, no, I don't want you to feel guilty. I don't want to be out of place of guilt, because you probably didn't do anything. Maybe you did, and I don't know. I don't care. But historically, you're right. It's like you're guilty by association, because you are white. You are in these other groups of people, and it's not just white people that have been oppressive, but that's what we're talking about. But it's kind of like, I just can't help it but to think, because I've been Black all my life, and I've had experiences, as a young child, being spit on and being harassed when I got off a school bus, right, by white males. Okay, and I was young, and we had to have cops sit outside our bus stop, okay, the next day, because my mama happened to work for the correctional facility. So she blew up, right? And then cops were there to watch. They ended up catching the guys, but they were not charged for harassment or whatever. They weren't charged. But I've been spit on. I've been called names. So I know. So yes, all of that, I guess, floods back just in an instant, right? When any white person, and it's crazy. It's just so crazy how it automatically happens. But at the same time, it's like, I do want your help. Let me tell you too. I would love to know what you can offer, but don't automatically assume that's what I want. Let me tell you some things that I need, and then maybe we can negotiate. And that's the other aspect. Viva had mentioned, we don't need y'all. And I think that's what she meant. I don't mean to put words in her mouth, but that's how I feel. I don't, just because you can offer something to me doesn't mean that's what I need or that's what I want from you. And don't automatically assume that's what I need and want from you. But let me also tell you what I think I need, and then let's talk about it from there. Mario, you look like you have something to say.
I said, let's not confuse help with, like Diva said, a business arrangement. Help is free. So when you're coming to me and asking me, how can I help you? And I have a business and there are services that my business can offer you. Are you trying to give me that for free, or do you want to enter into a business relationship? That doesn't have anything to do with me being Black. When white people come and ask you for what they can do, advice on what they can do, that is from a place of their own guilty conscience. And Google works all day, 365 days a year. This lovely lady from Soulfire Farms has made this document. You can help me by not putting me through this again, because I've probably been through it about 30 times with the other white people that want to know what they can do to help. Go on and Google what you can do to help and leave me alone. Let me mind my business. But if that is not good enough and you want to have a conversation after you've Googled, come back, and then I'm going to tell you, go talk to your uncle and your mama who's made that remark that you didn't say anything about. That's how you help Black people. That doesn't have anything to do with farming. That has everything to do with being a decent person. And if you just want advice on how to be a decent person, sit down and let me school you. They don't want that. Hear their guilty conscience, and I'm not here for it. I'm not.
What else? What else do we have to say about this guilt thing? I see all kinds of faces.
So, if I may, am I on mute still? Can y'all hear me? Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah, Stephen, mute yourself though, real quick. I hear that buzzing. I don't know where it's coming from.
No. I was just getting ready to say something about that. So just off topic real quick. The buzzing sound, I didn't realize it, but it's coming from me. I'm in my kitchen and I'm sitting beside the refrigerator. So that's what the buzzing noise, and and I'm so used to tuning it out. So y'all talking about buzzing, I'm like, I don't hear anything, just tuned out. So I apologize for that. So when I'm not on mute, you'll hear the buzzing. Sorry. But this is like, I'm sitting here at the table doing multiple things. So I kind of have to be here right now. So I'm sorry, y'all. Please forgive me in advance. So going back to the question of help. For me, and this is just for me, I'm not going to not help, but please understand, when you come to me and say, how can I help? I'm aware of what's been going on and the oppression of Black people, and I want to do my part to make it better, right? If, because I'm a fair person. I still know history, but I'm not going to lump sum everybody into, guilt by association. I'm not going to automatically trust you because of, history. I know history, but I'm like that with Black people. I'm not just going to automatically trust you. I don't know you. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe thing for me. So, but when you say help, the first thing is, please understand, when it comes to the situation of Black people, like native born, American descendants of slaves, the people who have survived trauma after horrific event after horrific event. When it comes to help, right? A lot of times it's not help. What it is your attempt to right a wrong, right? That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. So when you say, okay, well, I see you're trying to start a business and I want to help. Okay, so let's go ahead and sit down and understand, first of all, that this is a working relationship. Whatever, you know what I'm saying, we're working on. You're agreeing to help me, right? Get resources, you're agreeing to share information. You're agreeing to, be an ally. Not my friend, but an ally in whatever it is I'm trying to do. That's what allies do. We may not necessarily see eye to eye on everything, but you understand on this one particular thing that you're going to ally with me to make sure that this outcome comes to fruition, right? So help. If you want to help Black people, help in policy. Now, I'm not going to make this about politics, but politics affects our social status here in America. It just does, right? So this farming thing, we don't have land, but at one time we did have land. There's so many different articles. and I was up here writing some stuff that I could remember. I had to write stuff down. And so this is just, I had to write stuff down. And because otherwise I had so much information floating around in my head. So forgive me, but I wrote some stuff down. But Black folks have had so much, millions and millions of acres of land stolen. Stolen. We would be farmers and we would need help if our land hadn't been stolen. Millions of acres. And I mean, there's great articles. Modern Farmer came out with an article in August 19th, 2019. The Atlantic came out with an article, and they're online, September 29th, 2019. Wisconsin Public News Radio had a great article about 14 million of acres of land stolen from Black folks. Like, we have been so plundered. If you want to help, participate in policy change that gets us our land. Like Barefruit has on a shirt that says, just give me my 40 acres and a tractor, right? Yeah, beautiful shirt, right? Because the tractor represents the mule. Because when Lincoln was assassinated, some Black folks did get their 40 acres and a mule. But then under Andrew Johnson, the following president, that stuff was taken right back. So if you want to help in policy, right? And I'm not going to beat up on anybody, but we already know that 65% of white women voted for Donald Trump, who was not for Black folks, right? He was not for Black folks. Biden, he's not any better. You know what I'm saying? He's just not as tacky as Trump is, but you can advocate in how you vote. Help us get what was taken from us. Help us get, right, what was promised to us. And then you will see that we don't need help. What we need is an ally. We need allies. Be our ally. You know what I'm saying? Do your research. Please don't believe anything I say. But there's so much information out there where our ancestors, our elders have advocated. Martin Luther King, a lot of white folks love Martin Luther King. But one of the things that he talked about is America paying its debt to Black folks for our mistreatment. So if you want to help, be an ally, advocate, help through policy. The other thing is, and this is one of those things that really gets me, because it kind of comes out in how white folks interact with Black people, right? When white people, white Americans, Europeans, white people globally, when they speak, they don't speak with any kind of respectful reference to Black folks and their contributions. What am I saying? I'm gonna take this back to gardening, right? Last year, I bought, and I was so excited about it, this right here, the whole seed catalog, the 2020 edition. Now, I'm a person, I read everything. I read the little boring instructions, to installing a light switch. I read everything, just something I do. So I went through this book and I was reading. And as I was reading, I started to become so bothered. And once I got to, well, let me say this. So in this book, let me find a page. They decided to highlight, do you see this? This is a flag of Czechia, right? And so periodically throughout this book, this big, beautiful book with lots of beautiful pictures and stuff like that, right? You guys see the book? Sorry about the glare. Here's one for Japan, right? And so what it does is it has the history, well, it has the place, the flag, the place of this flag, what the item is. This is about the Kaitoto carrot, right? And so it gives you information about Japan, right? Everything pertaining to where this carrot comes from, the ideal temp for growing it, how many days it sprouts in, the use of it, the seed depth, the plant spacing, frost hardy, yes, minimal sun, you know what I'm saying, growing tips, right? They dedicated whole pages, all right? Now, when I went through the book, because I figured out what bothered me, I got to Egypt. So they highlighted America 6 times, right? And that's fine. This company is in America. No big deal. China twice, France 4 times, Israel, Japan 4 times, Italy twice, Brazil, England 3 times, Korea once, India twice, Russia once, Austria, Tahiti, Mexico, Peru, Scotland, and then Egypt. What bothered me? Well, and then Egypt, it had a question mark. It had a question mark on there. I'm thinking to myself, of all the wonderful items that Baker Creek, rareseeds.com has collected from all over the globe, right? Cowpeas, peanuts, peppers from out of Africa, and not one African country was highlighted except for Egypt, and it had a question mark under there. I wish I could, take the time to find it, and the question mark was in reference to the King Tut snow pea or purple pea or something like that. I don't like peas, so I don't really care. But let's see if I can find it. Up here it is. So they give this great story, right? And I mean, and it was a 4-page layout. So here you go. You got the Egyptian flag, right? And there's a question mark as to where this pea actually originated. So here's page 1. Here's the second page about this pea. Here's the third page, and here's the 4th page about this pea. And ultimately, when I read this story, the question mark is there because they believe that this pea really didn't originate out of Egypt, but instead England. So you mean to tell me that I paid $20 for a book that doesn't mention not one single unique rare variety of seed that you sell from an African country or anything, maybe even from here, since this is an American book? How about you dedicate a page to the African American fish pepper? Even that, every time I hear it, when I hear white people talk about it, I only hear them say the fish pepper. And if they make reference to it, they make reference to William Royce Reaver, who got the pepper from Horace Pippin. You know what I'm saying? But you all wouldn't know anything about this pepper had it not been for the Black man. And he's a famous Black man. You know what I'm saying? There's never a respectful commentary about Black people, about African people. And so it ends up being a subconscious thought that comes out through the behavior of white people when interacting and thinking about Black people, like, well, you all really haven't contributed anything. Well, we've contributed so much, but you all don't put us in the respectful commentary of history. Like, I know what came out of Europe. I studied your history, and so many things are foreign to you. Most of what you have is foreign to you, and you got it from somebody that was darker than me, but you don't talk about that. So that's my take on this question. If you want to help, be an ally. Understand that when you do things that progress Black folks, what you're really doing is you're righting the wrongs that have been done to Black folks. The second thing is do your research and put us in the respectful commentary of history, because we deserve to be there. Our ancestors deserve to be there. And so that's all I have to say about what I want.
Thank you, Dee. Yeah, I see you, Diva. But yes and amen to everything you said. Diva.
Let me mute myself.
Yeah, let me expand on that. So
wait a minute before you I kind of lost the chat for some reason. Maybe I logged out, I'm not sure, but before I logged out, I saw a comment by someone who has been very moved by the chat so much that she typed, "I feel like crying," and I didn't understand something or whatever. She feels some kind of way, okay? And so I just want to reiterate again, this is not to bash white people, okay?
Well,
but I'm just restating what I said before. This is not to bash white people. It's not to make people feel some type of way. However, it is to bring light of our perspective as Black people in America, Black growers and farmers, in relation to, we got to remember the context, okay? of the topic, which is Black girls and farmers, Black people. How do you all feel when white people ask you for or tell you that they want to help you with something? Okay, so I don't want to I don't want people to take it personally, like we're pointing fingers at you as an individual, but we are addressing things that are historically are evidence of the reasons why our perspectives are our perspectives. And so the panel is just trying to stand in their truth about how they feel. Okay. So it's not to make you uncomfortable, but at the same time, I want you to be uncomfortable. I welcome that. I think that's a great thing and a healthy thing, because that means you're thinking about it. And you're kind of processing your own stuff, even if you don't realize you're doing it. So I love y'all. Y'all know I love y'all. But yes, this is not a pretty discussion. It may be a hard discussion for other people to hear, difficult thoughts for you to hear, but it's just we're all standing in our truth, and we're all just trying to address the question. Please don't take it personally, okay? But let's continue with the panel. Diva had a comment.
Before I say my comment, I wanted to say that yeah, I'm watching the chat, I'm talking. But just me, she did, or he, I don't know if it's male or female. The way they type, it seemed like a female, but it could be male, doesn't matter. I don't think they were offended. They were, well, yeah, I don't think they were offended. They said, I'm just telling you because I know you lost the chat. They said they were uncomfortable, but what they also was like is they care about the truth. And when Dee Dee was telling about the peas and how they conveniently left that out, that it's African, they didn't agree with that. So I think that person may be uncomfortable, but they are not taking it as we're bashing per se. They're actually listening and engaging in the conversation. So I don't think it's
Thank you.
I don't think it's an issue there. So I'm watching. But I do want to address this. Broke Farmer said, why do we need someone's approval? It's not necessarily approval. That's not what we're looking for. When Dee Dee was talking about being left out of history, this is the thing. Most of these people have children. I do not. And there's a reason why I'm saying that. I find it often very interesting when people have children. Sometimes they think it's okay because, see, what's going to happen is when your kids, because I remember as a kid looking out in the world, I didn't see much that looked like me. It was just a little bit. It didn't matter what it was. It didn't matter if it was TV. It didn't matter if it was farming. It didn't matter if it was fashion. It didn't matter if it was education. It didn't matter. We spent all this time on George Washington. We spent all this time on Theodore Roosevelt and how he did so much for the Great Depression. But they didn't tell us how they conveniently, all of those new deals, Black people weren't eligible for none of it. They don't tell that. And then you hear this from white people's, not always white people, but a lot of times, let's be real. There are all these handouts, food stamps, Section 8. Y'all don't need to get none of that. We didn't get none of it in the New Deal. All of that was federal government handouts. We got none of it. The GI Bill was not eligible for Black people when it came out. It's eligible for us now. So let's not talk about the handouts and how people have gotten handouts. Certain people who were considered full-fledged citizens have gotten handouts since this country, since the colonies. Let's go back before we was a country. Since the colonies. Unacceptable. It's just like if you start a race. When you start a race, when they show the Olympics, everybody starts at the starting line. That's not how this country was. White people started at the starting line. We started way back, 6 miles back. And then they tell us, just run fast enough. No. You cannot catch somebody when you 6 miles ahead of them. There's not enough running in the world unless you're going to get in a car and try to catch them. So no, it's not about accepting. I don't care if they accept me, but what you will do is you will tell the truth, because our children are being miseducated just as much as the white children. The white children need to know the truth too, just as much as the Black children. Everybody needs to know the truth. That's how, Because all this line you want to try to say, oh, we ain't done nothing. I got news. They didn't pick Black people for just some arbitrary reason to be slaves. They didn't pick us arbitrarily. We already knew how to, our civilizations predate European civilizations by millennia, not by a couple of years. We don't let them fool you and have them thinking we didn't have bathrooms, that the Romans was the first to come up with running water. Lies. Running water was in Africa way before then. Way before. We was doing agriculture way before. This is not new. So when I see stuff like Baker Creek, edit us out. Now here and there, they'll throw us a little bone. Like I said, that's put it in the chat. This is why I started the Black Seed Exchange. I'm tired of it. I will not allow these people to lie and say that my ancestors did nothing when my ancestors did everything. No offense, when the Pilgrims got here, they almost died. There is written stories of how a man, his wife died, he ate his wife. He was so hungry. If it wasn't for the Native Americans, they would have been dead. They had no clue what they was doing. And really, the Native Americans were just being nice. They really was like, well, let us help these crazy people because they about to kill themselves. They gave them a little food and look what they did to them. Now, like they said, like Dee Dee said, right the wrongs, tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Don't write me out. And I'm not saying that ain't no white people that ain't done nothing. It is. But I'll tell the truth about that too. But don't just conveniently, oh, Black people ain't done nothing. Guess what? Most of this stuff in these foodways of America came from Africa. We had sense enough when we were being captured to hide seeds and different things in our hair. Because we was naked, most of us. We had ways to steal in our wherewithal. I have no idea where I'm going. I'm terrified. I don't know if I'm gonna see my family again. I don't know if they're gonna hurt my child. I don't know. They, raping, pillaging, killing, throwing people overboard. You get sick, they throw you overboard in the ocean. They don't care. We still had wherewithal to say, wherever we going, let me take a little bit of my culture, which a lot of that is food, plants, all of that. Let me take a little bit of my home with me, some seeds, anything. So no, that's very important. Don't ever sleep on that. Don't ever sleep on what these companies do. Because y'all know I get on my channel in a minute and tell you how I'm not giving them no money. No offense, Baker Creek, you ain't getting none of my money. None. I will get free stuff from you and let you spend money to send stuff to my house, and I will get nothing from you, give you no praise. Look in there, see what seeds you got, and find somebody else that got them. That's why I started the Black Seed Exchange. I'm growing stuff out right now so people can quit going to Baker Creek. And I'm gonna be honest, it pisses me off because I see a lot of Black channels. Go over here and get this. Go over here and get that. Those are the same people conveniently making it seem like your ancestors didn't do nothing. Those are the same people that when the USDA revoked loans and steal land, they have nothing to say about it. They do nothing. They say nothing. I will not participate in it. Now, if you want to be an apologist, that's on you. I don't have nothing to do with that. You can do that if you'd like. I'm not going to bash you for it. It's just I'm not going to participate because that's how I am. I'm one of them type people. I'm either going to participate or I'm going to stand back and watch you do your thing. I'm not going to apologize for it. And I want to say this, and this I'm going to let other people talk because Stephen and Mario, I'm sure have some great things to say. And I feel like I'm talking too long. Just me. Let me say this right quick. There was someone in here earlier and they bailed on the conversation. I saw the two things they said, and I'm sure other people in the chat may have seen it too. I'm not going to go too deep. But just me, thank you for staying, listening, and engaging because we need more people like you. See, like I did a video a long time ago. If I offend you, I'm not sorry. I did that video because somebody got mad because I named it the Black Seed Exchange. The Black Seed Exchange is not only for Blacks, it's for everybody. I had a white person come ask me, is it only for Blacks? I said, no. I said, but understand I'm Black and I curated it for Blacks, but anybody can participate. Now, if you're on that foolishness, I will ban you and boot you. I don't have an issue. But I'm gonna be honest and tell you there are several white people in the Black Seed Exchange never had an issue. I've never had an issue. Thank you to everybody who's a part of the Black Seed Exchange. Thank you to anybody who's joined. I just accepted 5 or 6 requests the other day. So thank you. And like I was saying in that video, I said, the white people I rock with, they know what's up. They know. They'll tell you in a minute. Oh no, she don't not like white people. She don't like white people who excuse what this nation has done, who tries to just gloss over history and say, oh, it's the past, get over it. No, and I need Black people to stop saying that. Let me tell you why I need you to stop saying that. It's blood on this nation. A lot of it, not just a little bit, and not just this nation. South America, I could go to the Caribbean, I could go all over. Jamaica, it's blood, all them places. Don't say just get over it. When you're in a relationship and a man cheat on you or a woman cheat on you, do you just get over it? No, you have a discussion. Like, what's up? We need to work this out. And that's what we're doing here. We're trying to work it out. Now, if you one of them type people, you want to push it up under the rug. And I don't function like that. I don't even function in relationships like that. People know me. I will cuss and hoop and holler till we get it. We're going to cuss, hoop, holler, fight, cry till we get it together. And if you can't handle it, get gone. Like that's just, you know what I'm saying? And I know I'm abrasive, but y'all know I don't mean no harm because I help anybody. Anybody tell you anything I got, I'll give it to you if you need it. But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? It's just, once again, like I said, at the end of the day, it's about telling truths, being honest. Thank you, Just Me, for sticking around and being a part of this and sharing, you know, this stuff. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If you can, share this with some more white people, because I'm gonna be honest, a lot of them just don't know. I know the ones that know. It's ones that know and they play like they don't know. I'm not racist. Just because you don't say the N word or just because you talk to Black people, you think you're not racist or elitist or white nationalist. You think all these things. Just like these people think, oh yeah, you know, like that time, I won't tell you what president said he had 3 Black friends, but we won't get on that. And when he said that, he showed his card. We knew. I'm gonna be real. I had some white friends. What was wrong with that statement? I had to break it down to them. They had never thought about it like that because you're not trained to think that way. We grow up totally differently from white people, just being honest. Most of us, we grow up totally different. Unless you in some type of vortex or something, I don't know. But we grow up with the, like, we don't, like I tell people, we don't get to live in Candyland. That's why I tell white people, y'all live in Candyland. We live in America. Like, when you get out of Candyland, let me know. When everything's sweet and nice. So, you know what I'm saying? But once again, thank you to everybody participating.
Yes.
And I'm not diminishing nothing nobody said in the chat. I'm just, you know,
right.
I'm just letting y'all know my opinion. I'm not bashing your opinion. You keep your opinion. Right. It's fine. I have no problem. Love all of y'all. Susie too. Love you. And because most of y'all are my subscribers anyway. But yeah, I'm gonna let the other people talk. I'm gonna shut up.
Yeah. So man, I mean, there's just so much, and so the reason why I'm letting y'all talk is because people need to hear this. And and again, this is not a bashing session toward white people, but I think I more so than ever, I've become more aware and actually inviting the understanding that of who I am in this country. And is because I mean, I think Black people struggle with history as well. We there are Black people that think the same things that white people, such as things like my ancestors were not slaves. So I don't have anything against white people. White people say the same thing. My ancestors didn't enslave people, or I didn't enslave people. So why do we have to talk about this subject? And so anyway, I just think there's all kinds of different perspectives, and I'm down to hear everybody. Stephen, Mario, tell me what's going on. Stephen, you've been sitting there kind of quiet. Tell me what your thoughts are.
All right. So first, I like to comment on the whole thing about just us talking about the racial thing in the first place. I always like to explain to people that talking about race is kind of like doing a deep clean in your house. When you're getting everything out, at some point it's gonna be dirtier than it was. Like you're gonna be like, I don't remember this under the bed, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to pull everything out. And that's what we're doing right now, just as America, just in general. You know what I'm saying? We are pulling out all the dirt. We stuffed the drawers that we ain't never wanted to go in. We cleaning all of that out. We deep in the closet. You know, we really doing a clean. So, but for that reason, I know y'all say y'all don't need nothing, y'all don't want nothing. I want it all because you took it all. You know what I'm saying? I want everything that you took. I want it back. I want everything. You know what I'm saying? So yes, give me my land. Give me access. If you would do it for your white brother, do it for me. You know what I'm saying? So like that's really where I'm at with it. It's just the fact that I don't like the fact that we as a people feel like that we have to say, no, we don't need this because they're going to say this or they're going to say that. They're going to say stuff anyway. They've always said stuff. So I'd rather you say it and I got what I need than say it and I don't have it. So, I mean, that right there, I mean, I don't have a lot to say, but that's just kind of how I feel about it is give it, if you got it, give it to me. And that's just, I mean, and not me personally, to us as a people, like we need self-sustainability. If right now you want tractors, I want solar panels on everything. I don't want to have to pay LG&E nothing ever again, no electric bill ever again. Access to water, I want those things. So yes, give it to me. Y'all got access to it. And I mean, I just feel like that we deserve it. So that's personally how I feel about it. That's it. That's all I got.
Thank you, Stephen. And I agree. I'm just like, man, if you want to help, you got a dump truck and you're going to deliver this for free. I don't have to pay $100, which is what the company wants to charge me for delivery. Shoot, heck yeah, I'm going to take, thank you. And so it's not about being ungrateful, right? Like I am totally, especially the people that I've met here lately. Like, I mean, I have been blessed, okay, to be these people just falling in my path. I ain't reached out, I ain't done nothing. They calling me and things have just been happening. And I'm so grateful for that, right? And I do have white allies. They are my allies. And I'm so grateful because a lot of people don't have that. Some people don't want that, and that's fine for you. But I want to hear from Mario real quick, and then Didi, I saw your hand. But let's hear from Mario real quick.
Wait a minute, what's the question? Is there a new question?
No question. Just do you have any thoughts about anything that has been said?
I saw in the chat that people were talking about the problems that we were discussing being problems of the past, and we all know that that is not true at all. We can talk about the amount of farmland that is owned by African Americans right now. Is it less than 2%, I believe? And how that has hindered us from building generational wealth. Redlining in our cities that devalue our property, stop us from building generational wealth today in 2021. So it's not a problem of the past. And again, I will say, go home and talk to your uncle and your cousin who might run that seed company. What was that catalog that you had, Dee? And fix what you can fix on your own. You don't need us to tell you, fix what you can fix, that you have the power to fix. There's that person on your job that is getting talked about, that Black person is getting talked about. There's your seed catalog, there's your real estate people, there are your lawmakers. If everybody went home and did what they could do on their own, you wouldn't even need to ask us what to do. You would just be doing like what Stephen said. What you would do for your white neighbor, do the same thing for me.
Indeed. Dee?
Hey, I'm here. So thank you, Mario, for pointing that out because I was seeing that about, in the past. And it's not just in the past. Like, it's not just in the past. What am I saying? Now, I said earlier, I read everything. I've always been a reader. I pick up things, magazines that people have said, why you read that old boring magazine? I'm like, because listen, I know that this magazine ain't for us. I know that it's not catering to us, but I guarantee you there's something being said in there that we should know, right? So in the past, our ancestors bought land. It was taken from them. Case in point, George Floyd. His grandfather had bought 500 acres, but because the government didn't protect us, they told white people when they immigrated here, go out and settle the West. So when they found black folks that had land, they just moved up on it, and black folks couldn't soon get their land back. That right there, okay, that's in the past, but look how it affects us now in the future. Not just that, we were promised 40 acres and a mule, right? Well, we didn't get it ultimately. But let me show you something. Because we are gardeners, farmers, on whatever scale we are, here in my city, they come out with this little garden. It's called, it's the Gardener magazine. I'll just show you that, right? So I picked this up. This is the February 2019 issue of this. And so, look, I read and I circle things, I highlight, make little stars and asterisks because there's something important in there. And I held on to this. Now it's almost February 2021, right? So, but let me read something to you. This here, you can see it. It has a star in this little bitty article. I don't have my magnifying glass because I refuse to wear my glasses. So I have a magnifying glass. So just kind of bear with me because this writing is small. But let's see. It says, learn about new routes for refugee program. All right. In this program, refugees can contact the local county extension office. It says, when refugees are forced to flee their countries, they arrive in the United States with very little except a great deal of agricultural expertise. Well, when enslaved Black people came here, they had agricultural expertise. I'm going to continue on. Catholic charities, in participation with Cultivate KC, began this program to help them put down new roots by helping them start their own small farm businesses. Refugees began Refugees began at the Jupiter Gardens 9-acre training farm, growing produce that not only feeds their families, but also is sold at local markets. And then as they gain financial and managerial independence, they are able to move onto their own land. The fee, $5, waived for currently certified EMGs. Now, how is it that this here article that came out in 2019, February 2019, offering land for $5 to immigrants for sharing agricultural information? How is this possible in 2019? And we've been here for 401 years giving agricultural expertise, and we still haven't gotten our 40 acres that was promised to us. You see, so again, it's not about, it's in the past. I didn't own slaves. You're here now. This was in February 2019. Now, I'm sure there was no Black people that was on this program, on this board, because they would have said, hold up, wait a minute. Where's the acres for my people to start their own farming business? I mean, we've been here, we've earned it. If anybody is entitled, Native Black people are. I'm not saying that other people don't deserve some opportunities and some help, right? Because, knowing America's history, they have displaced people all over this planet. So, but, that's another topic for a conversation on another day. But we've been here, we've built this, and there's opportunity that exists, and it's at our expense. This needs to stop. This is what I'm talking about being an ally in policy. White people, we're not in these rooms when y'all doing this stuff. This is why Black folks, I know you say we don't need no allies, but we do, because we're not at the table. White people are at the table. And so when you're at the table and you know about this kind of stuff going on, you say, wait a minute, hold up. Before you do this for immigrants coming here for their agricultural expertise, what about the Gulas who had land, it was stolen? What about Black folks that was here We listen, we know what we did. We did wrong, right? Well, maybe not me, but my ancestors. We need to write this because I'm looking at this. And like me, I'm not a person that can just bury my head, right? In the sand and just ignore the struggle and the suffering of the people. That's not who I am, especially when it's my people. Especially when it's my people. And so, you know, because then it makes me feel some kind of way about you people. And it's like, I don't want to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? But if I have to choose, and I know that this kind of stuff is going on, who do you think I'm going to choose? I'm going to choose my own because I know that you guys are still dogging us out to this day. Again, 1865, we were supposed to get what? You say, well, that was in the past. It's 2019, you're still giving away our land and not helping us. Not helping us. This program here, this is our program. And so I know you know how to do it because you did it for others. So you can do it for us too. You know, help us get what we are supposed to have and we'll be okay. We'll be okay.
So again, the question is, black, brown people, black people, black farmers, black growers, what do you want from white people? And these are the things that white people can do. They can create policy, change policy, influence policy so that we can, black people, and I'm talking about black people and not brown people or indigenous people very much because I'm black, okay? And my experiences have forecast this this discussion today, or has kind of been the catalyst for this discussion today. My experience with trying to purchase a 10-acre farm in the past 6 months. And so, but yes, I agree with everything you're saying, Dee. And I'm curious to know whether or not they are allowing those, the folks in the article to purchase the land or purchase it for $5. Is that what it said? Or are they renting for $5?
Okay, so this is what it says. Again, they are able to move onto their own land. The fee, $5. And then it says waived for currently certified EMGs. So $5 or nothing. That's what they're going to pay for their own land to start their own business.
But again, the words say move on to. That can mean all kinds of different things. And I just wonder,
once they go through the program, and they share their agricultural expertise in growing whatever it is that they bring from home, they have land, a couple of acres that's set aside for them to move on to start their business, and they can buy that land for $5. But if they're already a certified EMG, then they don't have to pay anything. They just move on to the acres and go about building their business.
Okay. So we, Stephen, Mariel has purchased real estate. Stephen has purchased real estate. How easy do you think that is to do? As a black person, black grower, black farmer, how easy do you think the process is to do that? Your experience.
Well, buying it, when I bought it from a private family, it was easy. It's just like buying regular land. But when I went through my process that I'm going through right now, I'm currently still going through it, to get it from the city, that's a whole different issue. They have a whole lot of different rules and loopholes that they got to jump through to get, especially like you got to beg for land that nobody's using in the community. So that's been my experience so far. And like you said, I've had a lot of allies that went and worked on policy changes to help rectify that situation, but it shouldn't have been a problem in the first place because of the fact that.
Yeah. Do you think it was racial, or do you think it was literally just because policy said this and policy said that, and it just didn't fit for you?
I feel that it was racial only because of the fact that the area in which the land, our vacant land bank, is in the urban community. So the demographic of the urban community is majority African American, which in their, means that it's racial by that. I don't think that they have the same type of policies or even worry about that on in their communities as often, because I remember speaking with some older white men a while ago, and they always just talk about, the handshake deals. And basically, you got a good handshake and you're a man of your word, you can work it out. But with us, we have to jump through hoops and, and then once we understand the rules, they'll change the rules again. So
it does seem that way, doesn't it? Sometimes, yeah.
So I think that right there is, that's been my process. But like I said, thanks to a lot of allies, and it's been scary because of the fact that, and this is why we need allies, is because white people can say stuff to white people we can't necessarily say to white people. So having allies on your side is always good because of the fact that I know in my case, they said some stuff that I would have never imagined saying because it would have just been shut straight down. I wouldn't have never got that far in the process. So I'm appreciative to my allies, but like I was saying earlier, we shouldn't need that. We shouldn't need allies to speak on our behalf. We should be able to go in and have the same conversation that anybody else is having. So
that's right. Mario, do you have any thoughts?
On purchasing real estate from the land bank, my first purchase was very easy. I owned a house on the block already, so you just applied. Quickest closing that I've ever done on any of my properties. Trying to get the other vacant lots on the block has been much more difficult, and I think it is a racial issue. I'm trying not to put Stephen on blast here. I'm trying to be very careful with what I say. We're going through some gentrification in our city, and I think that is limiting the amount of land that the city wants to sell us, especially for agricultural purposes. If the lot is a farm, then you're paying maybe $30 in property taxes, versus if a developer came in and built on that land and they could get thousands of dollars in property taxes. So that's been a barrier for us in purchasing the other vacant lots on the street because they won't get as much tax revenue and might also feel that my corn is not a pleasant thing for a neighborhood. So we've also had some issues with being cited for high grass and weeds that could be milkweed, that could be corn or other things like that we're growing as food. So that's been difficult also. So buying a vacant lot from our city, you can get one if you own a parcel of land on that street. You can buy that for $500. And they only let you buy one piece of land. So now I'm trying just to buy the other ones, and I just want to keep those cut because I can't take any more land to farm. It's just too much. It's hard.
Yeah.
Just to buy those to keep those cut because the city probably only cuts the vacant property that they own maybe twice a season. You might be lucky and get that third cut from March to November. I just want to keep them cut to make the neighborhood look nice, and they want me to pay $2,500 for each of these lots. I'll just cut it myself.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, what can white people do to kind of help with the process? And there are a lot of policies in place. I agree. There are some policies in place that have nothing to do with race. It's just their policy and it's old as heck. Okay. And it needs to be changed.
Which makes it racial.
Because
so if it's old, it's racial off top.
What? I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I said if it's an old policy, it's racial.
Well, yes, and we've had that debate, or not debate, but discussion as well. Right now, our city is trying to exercise their racial equity tool in relation to a land development code, and that's something I've been a part of too. That discussion that I've shared on my channel as well, and it is very racist. Okay, if you look at the history of our city, and all cities have some type of history, but I'm just talking about the one I live in. But specifically, their codes are very, very racist and very overtly racist. Okay. And so, but there are people in place. There are some good people. I really feel like they're really trying to make things right in place. They're trying to change things, but there's also a lot of people still that don't want to, or they're missing it. They're missing the point. Right. And so anyway, I wanted to share something real quick. People keep talking about all these fungus gnats. Lord have mercy. The battle of gardeners in their homes. So
Can I say something right quick
somebody
before-
had continued to bring up that every this stuff is in the past. This stuff happened in the past, and so I'm sharing my screen right now so y'all can see this post in 2019, or what happened in 2019. This was a bill that was sponsored by Miss Jackson, okay, and this is Congress, and the website is here. This bill establishes the commission to study and develop reparation proposals for African Americans. So if somebody is still bringing it up in 2019 and this is on the table, you cannot conclude that all of this discussion has everything to do with the past and not the present. Okay, the commission shall examine slavery and discrimination in the colonies in the United States from 1619 to the present and recommend appropriate remedies. Among other requirements, the commission shall identify the role of the federal and state governments in supporting the institution of slavery, forms of discrimination in the public and private sectors against free slaves and their descendants, and lingering negative effects of slavery on living African Americans and society. Okay, and this was as this bill was introduced in 2019. Okay, so please, I just open your minds, open your hearts to receive that, because it is real and it's happening. Okay, and we can't no longer ignore it. We just can't do that. We can, but we're not going to progress. We're not going to move forward. Again, I also want to bring up, and I'd referenced SoFi Farm, Leah Penniman, her document that lists several different things that we can do, our white people can do, our allies can do to address, right these wrongs, action steps. And I want to share some of her things, and then we'll wrap this up, y'all. Okay. But I'm reading through here, and hold on, I'm trying to find it. Okay, so this document is pretty long. It's about 18 pages, but we're not going there. We're not going there. Okay. Strategy 2. Hold on. I might have passed it. Okay, there we go. So here's some things that she had listed. White people, allies, okay, to people of color. Encourage your school, your your businesses or institutions to sign on to the Good Food Purchase Program. Now, I don't know much about that, but so I'm gonna do some research there. But let me point out some other things. Support existing community work led by those directly impacted by the issues, rather than adopting the savior complex, where outsiders garner resources and outreach to the community. I hear this all the time, and it's really something that I feel strongly about. I don't need you to rescue me. I don't need that. We need you to be allies, okay? When we need you. And let us give you permission to be an ally. Don't just assume you are. Dee Dee has a comment. I see it. I'm going to run through this list and then I'll let you comment, okay? Put your skills to work supporting a farmer or food business owner of color. Most importantly, buy their products. Also, farmers often don't have enough time to attend to the administrative aspects of their operation, like grant writing, web design, social media, marketing, legal research, and blogging. Reach out to see if you can help in that way. And that is the truth. I have been on the search for Black growers and farmers in my city alone. And what I find out is their presence is not often on social media. It really isn't. They're out working. They don't have time, or it's not a priority for them to post or have websites. They are working, trying to make a living. So if you can offer those skill sets, that might be one thing that you can do. Share the resources of your business or organization. If you have a photographer, meeting space, grant writer, accountant, lawyer, food, money, or any other good or service, offer that resource to community-led work. Offer no or low cost fiscal sponsorship if you're a part of a 501c3. And that's a whole different conversation. But again, Just offer what you have, and then let us decide what we need. White people should consider strongly working with other white people, especially those who voted for 45, to raise consciousness and build support for these issues, rather than organizing people of color. Uplift Black and Brown expertise, both ancestral and current. People of color exist and thrive beyond the oppression narrative. Instead of imagining that the best practices in food, farming, and movement building are ahistorical, find out how people of color created and improved upon them, and celebrate those individuals, which DD talked about. Invite Black and Brown experts to teach your organization, your community, and not just about racial issues. Offer fair compensation for their knowledge rather than expecting to pick their brain for free. Couple more real quick. Catalyze your community to raise funds to help your local farmer provide affordable produce to the most vulnerable, refugees, incarcerated people, and those living in food deserts. Organize, have models for doing this using sliding scale pay systems, doorstep delivery, and farmers markets near neighborhood schools. And last but not least, get educated. You can learn more about structural racism, and that's it. Okay, learn more about structural racism, because that's what it really boils down to. But Didi, you had a comment. I still see your hand, so let me stop sharing my screen so people cannot be distracted by that, and go for it.
Okay, so two things, and this is just a little ig for me. This Black and Brown coalition that doesn't really exist, this people of color. I'm not a person of color. I don't want to be lumped in with everybody else.
So you're saying those terms
Yeah,
for
yeah,
you?
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had an issue with that whole proposal and the study of the reparations deal because of the way that they were wording it. And we are a very specific group of people who have had a very specific history and experiences and in a specific oppression that has lasted a specific time. Well, not just a specific time, but our entire time here, right? And my experience is not the same as an Ilhan Omar, who was displaced when America went over there to Somalia and did what they did under Bill Clinton, and then brought them over here to Minnesota and gave them $1,200 cash to get started, a place to live, and told them about jobs. So don't lump me in with other people, because you can't reject my citizenship. You know, like, I understand everybody has something that they're dealing with, but I have an issue with this Black and Brown deal. You know, they didn't go through the same thing that my ancestors went through and that I'm still living under. And I say that to say this, because with these terms, we get confused about what we're entitled to, what we're owed, right? And who is owed what. Now, I didn't live in Guam, right? Under World War II, Japan occupied Guam, and they committed all kinds of atrocities of war, right? But I want to tell you something. Here in America, for 401 years and counting, right? Because 2019 made our 400 years, 2020 made 401 years, and we're now in 2021, and we're still oppressed, right? By policies, you know, this kind of stuff. This is going to immigrants. Most immigrants that come here are brown people that is getting this, and we're not getting it. So don't lump me in with that. But don't be discouraged. White people, you can ally to help us get what we're supposed to have. It is very doable. It's very possible. In fact, President Barack Obama, in December 2016, his last month in office, gave reparations to the residents and the survivors of Guam for when they were occupied under World War II. There's an article, it came out, well, there were several articles, but the National, there's one that you can pull up on the internet, the National. And I'm just going to read you really quick what it outlined. President Barack Obama signed the Guam War Claims Measure in 2016. It provides $10,000 to those who underwent forced marches or internment. Well, guess what? We talk about Black Wall Street and how Tulsa, or as racist white folks called it, Little Africa or Nigger Town, when they stormed and killed those people and dropped bombs on them, right? They captured and they rounded up people and they put them in a concentration camp right here on American soil for more than a year. Black folks called it Tent City, right? So, but President Obama, it provides $10,000 for those who underwent forced marches or internment, or who had escaped internment. Now, after World War I, Diva had said something earlier about the GI Bill. After World War I, for about a period of 7 years all across this country, when Black folks was freed, they was pushed off onto throwaway land. Reconstruction, Jim Crow, World War I came around. Those World War I soldiers came home with military strategy and their military issued weapon. And they saw all these Black folks had built up this throwaway land. And so what they did was they strategized all across this country. And you can look it up. They called them race riots, but they weren't race riots. What they were is it was a strategy to kill and take over Black land that had been built up by Black people, okay? And so they did this starting in 1917. And they ran Black folks off their land. They killed them. Slocum, Texas, Rosewood, you saw the movie, Tulsa, East St. Louis, that massacre went on for 3 months, all across this country. But in 2016, the residents of Guam, they got their reparations for having dealt with something that was imposed upon them by the people of Japan. We still haven't got ours, but you know that you can get it for us. You know you can ally for us because we are deserving of it. These ghettos were created because of what the World War I soldiers did to Black people all across this country. All across this country for those years where they burned down Black towns, where they took over Black towns, they took over Black land, and they killed Black people, and they put them in concentration camps, and then they built those ghettos and they put us there, and they denied them the GI Bill because that's where the GI Bill came from. It was a result of that. They said, the government said, so that you all won't do this again across this country, white people, white soldiers, so that you won't do this to these Black folks again. We're going to give you money to buy a home, to build up a home. That's where the GI Bill comes from, okay? So, but anyway, so in 2016, President Obama, he gave this money for, let me find it. Let me start over. President Barack Obama signed the Guam War Claims Measure in 2016. It provides $10,000 for those who underwent forced marches or internment or had escaped internment, $12,000 to those who experienced forced labor or personal injury. Now, again, $12,000 to those who experienced forced labor. Slavery was forced labor. After slavery, we go right to Jim Crow. Sharecropping, Black folks walking down the street or just being in the sight of white folks, getting arrested for loitering. And they were put right back on those same plantations to work all the way up until 1960. And you mean to tell me, you may not have been around in 1865, but a lot of white folks were still living in 1960, when Black folks were still living as forced sharecroppers. That's free labor. Forced labor, personal injury, $15,000 to people who were severely injured or raped, $25,000 to children, spouses, and some parents of those killed during the occupation. Now, that's that, what they call it, standing in the shoes. So basically, if something happened to my mama or my grandparent, and I'm still feeling the effects of it because they no longer here, I'm getting paid. You got to help me. You got to right this wrong. So again, Black folks, we do need allies. We need our reparations. And reparations is not just about cash payments, it's also about land. It's also about feeding your community, going back to growing your own food. Because when you go back to growing your own food, you regain your health. And then you don't need to be a part of the medical racist institutions that we then have to be oppressed under them, right? Because if I ain't sick, I ain't got to go to a hospital like the one Black doctor, I can't think of her name right now, who got COVID, and she documented on Facebook how she was experiencing racism in the medical field and how they was neglecting her and mistreating her, and she ended up dying of COVID. And she's a Black doctor. See, this stuff is still going on. We need our allies. White people, if you're listening, this is not a bashing session. I'm asking you to not bury your head and not let stuff keep going on like this. I'm asking you to not be willfully ignorant and to just let those same people that stormed the Capitol and did all that hokum and whatnot, that has been terrorizing our people this entire time that we've been here. Don't let them keep doing this. Stand up, say something. I understand it's scary. See, you got a choice. You can just sit there and say nothing because it's scary. We don't have that choice. And I'm gonna tell you something, a whole lot of us, if we feel like you're gonna kill us, then I'm gonna try to kill you too. Because guess what? I'm entitled to my life, just like I'm entitled to the land that I was promised. Give me my 40 acres and my tractor. Be an ally. You know what I'm saying? Advocate for policy. Stop turning your head in a blind eye to the wrongs that are still going on to Black people here. I want you as an ally because I understand there's a whole lot of people that will never invite me into the room and sit down at the table to have the conversation on behalf of my people. I can't get in because my skin is the wrong skin tone. You understand? I can't get in. We can't get in to talk and say, hey, wait a minute. No, you can fix this for us, right? You can right the wrongs of your ancestors and you can right the wrongs of today. Today, this stuff is still going on. So that's all I wanted to say.
Thank
We
you.
are
Any
all
other
also,
please?
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Please
Mary.
to our allies. Mary,
Go
what
ahead,
you have to say?
Mary.
we're all living in this capitalist society, and I will push it one step further to say that it is plantation capitalism still. Who makes the most at your company, and what do I make? So it's that we are still working under plantation rules. I know I have a certain amount of time, even though I work from home, to eat my lunch. It has to be taken at a certain time. If I get a bonus, it is not reflective of the profits that my company is posting. We're still living in plantation times even today.
Diva, your last comments.
Yeah, I want to just expand on a couple of things that Dee Dee said. Y'all don't forget about policy as well when it comes to reparations. I see all too often cut the check. When I see that stuff, I want to scream. When you say reparations, before you open your mouth and say anything about getting reparations, and let me say this because people will say, "Oh, you anti-reparations?" No, I'm not. I'm anti just getting a check because getting a check ain't gonna do nothing. We have been woefully misinformed about how to use money in this nation. That's why, and it was done on purpose because they know that money is power. They have known that from jump. Why you think when slaves would get a few coins here and there, would save their money and try to buy their freedom, they would look and say, "Oh, these N words done lost their mind. They buying their freedom." They knew. They knew. We used to have a vast concept of money because coming from Africa, the richest civilizations in the world was in Africa. We knew about money. What they did was they beat it out of us over 400 years and then taught us that, just look for your Section 8 check. Look for this, look for, no. Because I see so many people and it infuriates me, like, living what I call that check life. I tell them, I said, that's a trap. They holding you back with that. Because all you living trying to figure out what you're going to do with these 2 or 3 pennies. So once again, the policy is very important aspect of reparations. There need to be laws in place, laws without loopholes. Because trust and believe they will find every loophole in the world to try to cheat you out of some stuff. Then to go further, like Dee Dee said about, like they said, I think y'all need to understand this too. They don't really want to give us reparations because out of all of those groups, and Dee Dee's absolutely right, the people from Guam. She didn't mention a long time ago, they gave reparations to the Japanese that they put in internment camps during World War II. They gave reparations to them. They're just now studying Tulsa, trying to get those people reparations. That stupid governor in Oklahoma, he's a nut. He don't want to give them reparations because if you heard the mess he said 2 or 3 days, well, a week ago, that stupid stuff he said, oh, I didn't know that was going to offend the Black voters of Oklahoma, you idiot. You're a blatant racist. That's what you are. And you just showed your card and I see you. That mess, let me explain something to you. In Florida, if I'm not mistaken, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, I think they tried or did something about Rosewood, trying to give those people something, but I'm telling you, it probably was pennies on the dollar. It was a sad shame if they gave them anything. They don't want to give us that money because they know they owe us a whole lot. Let me explain to you how America would be a third world country had it not been for slavery. Look at all the other nations that are third world countries. None of them had slavery to the notion that Europe and America and the empire, what they call it, because they got some games, the Commonwealth Games. That's what the European, like all those countries they call it all they empires, like when Jamaica was still with Britain and the Antilles, all them islands, all the Commonwealth Games. When they had those huge empires, all of those countries, if you notice, the Europe, that they are America, they look at the places that didn't participate in that to build their nations. They are all third world countries. So just understand, they don't want to give us that money because they know how much it's going to be. And then I think they know that some of us are smart enough to know that we need more than money, because what they'll do, see, what they really want to do is they kind of just want to say, like when they do those, you know, when you get your taxes, when they do the taxes and you get more money back, and basically all these people do is go get rims and stuff, and the money go right back to the rich people. You go give all your money to Walmart because you went and bought all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what they really want to do, but they know some of us is too smart for that. We need policy. We need land. And you give me some money, but let me tell you something. I can make it pop. If y'all make some stuff shift with this land, because I want to tell you this. If you live in some of these areas where you can, and I'm not saying it's easy to get land for Black people. I do own my home. I'm not going to say it was easy. I'm not going to say it was difficult. If one day y'all want me to go into that on my channel, I will. Because like I said, I am in a financial field. I like to try to give y'all some ins and outs on that money, because I'm telling you, I sit down with people, they have no idea. They have no concept of money. You know what I'm saying? Just like they say, there's no instructions on the back of a dollar bill of what to do with it. It doesn't come with instructions. But it's funny how your clothes, it tell you how to wash them. Funny how your clothes tell you how to wash them, but that dollar don't tell you how to spend it or how to save it, you know? So just look at those little things in society. But if you live in these areas like Detroit and they letting you get these, this land, like, you know, these little lots for real cheap, if you can, look into that, because they ain't got that around here. They ain't doing that. When they said something about Detroit, the city, but I see the city of Detroit slowed up on that too, because people were snapping that land up, and it wasn't the people who they thought it was going to be. They thought it was going to be like all developers. That's what I'm guessing they thought. But then it actually turned it up being quite a few of those people were Black people getting that land. And it sold up on that, where you can't get those lots for $1,000 and all this, like what they were doing. But just understand this, when they have that, jump on it. If they ain't got it right now, be saving your coins. Because you best believe I put my coins together every day. Because I'm telling you, if they had that like that around here, like they had in Detroit, I'd own my whole neighborhood. I'm not lying. They look at me like I'm crazy. Where I sign up at? I'm ready. They don't know. Because see, that's why I tell people look at me and be like, why you driving that old car, man? I don't do car notes. I do deeds. I don't do car notes. I do deeds. I don't have time for that. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put your stuff in order. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just y'all keep that in mind and think outside the box a little bit. And, you know, I also want to say, share this video. It's been so much information. Didi was way more prepared than me. She had some gems to drop. Oh, the lady that Dee was talking about, the doctor who died. I want to mention this because a lot of people may not know nothing about this lady. I watch Roland Martin religiously. I believe in Black media. If you do not believe in Black media, you don't understand the importance of Black media. I'm not saying watch Roland Martin because I'm not promoting, but I'm saying I promote Black media. My granny was a proponent of, she always subscribed to the Black newspaper. She was from Shreveport. She moved from Shreveport in the 50s or 60s. And until the day she died in 2019, she kept her subscription to a Black newspaper. If you have a Black newspaper or some type of Black media that is, supported, because we need our voices. Because it's like I said, it's a lot of stuff ain't gonna get covered. You can go on Roland Martin, you can look at that lady where they talk about how she got COVID and how she was done at the hospital. And she's telling them, I'm a physician. I know you all are mistreating me. You all are trying to kill me. And the lady did ultimately die. So please, you can go see that video and I'm telling you now, brace up. Because oftentimes I watch Roland Martin and sometimes the stuff they have on, I have to brace up because I get pissed off and I start breaking stuff. So, but you can go and see that. Also, something I wanted to point out, a lot of this historical stuff that Dee is talking about, I love it that Dee reads because Dee is like me. You know what I'm saying? I wear these glasses for a reason. I had contacts for years and I quit trying to fake the funk like I wasn't a nerd, like I don't read books. Like I got 30, 40 books I ain't read, need to read. I keep buying books. I got more on the reading list. So I definitely, y'all need to read, but I understand you can't always read because you might be driving. You never know what people do for a living, or you never know how people take in information. Everybody ain't the greatest reader, and there's nothing wrong with that. Get the information however you need to get it. So I'm recommending to you all the Karen Hunter show. If y'all don't watch nothing else, on Saturday, In Class with Carr, that man is a walking encyclopedia. And he did a show about all of those insurrections, meaning in Wilmington, Tulsa, all of them. He did a show on all of them. Now I'm telling you now, it'd be 2 hours, but just hold with it, just stick with it, listen to what they have to say. And they talk about things from all different aspects, how it affects us now, why it was done then, what happened. He talked a little bit about the one in East St. Louis. He talked about all that. So In Class with Carr is the Karen Hunter show. And also, if y'all would catch Karen Hunter's show when she talks with Carla Hall, if you want to hear about African food pathways, why rice is important to the Black community, why watermelon, even stereotypically as they want to make it, why that was so important and how that helped our ancestors and why they brought those things with them here, grits, all of these different things that people want to try to just, because you know how they do our food. They make like soul food. It's just low budget and everything, but yet oxtails is $25 a pound because the white people have taken oxtails and told the people that it's gourmet. And now I can't afford oxtails. So go and listen to Karen Hunter's show with Carla Hall. She talks to all different kind of people. You can watch what you want, but please go over there if you want. Like I said, this historical stuff that Dee talked about, Dr. Carr, he covered a lot of that. They did a whole show on insurrections, as well as other things, including this one that happened on the 6th and how that impacts us. And like I said, Carla Hall with the food ways. If you don't know Carla Hall, beautiful, used to be a model, wrote several cookbooks, but she's very into the historical significance of food in the Black community. And that's my time.
Thank you, Diva. Stephen, would you rather have land or money? You're still muted.
Okay. I'd rather have land. Like Diva said, a lot of us don't know what to do with money. I know that a lot of stimulus checks went right back to Walmart. They was back broke in a week. So yeah, I would definitely have land. And like my closing thing is that basically for people, since this is about white people in particular, white people, just do your research, find out about the history. It's If you want to say something's in the past, then you don't have to be worried about it. Find out about the history, speak up, speak out. White silence is violence. So we need you to advocate and help us with these policy changes that we need to be able to be in the same situation, be in a, I ain't gonna say the same situation, but be in a more a opportunity, give us opportunity to do what we need to do for ourselves by helping with the policy changes.
Thank you so much. Thank y'all. We had an incredible time tonight. I really do appreciate everybody hanging in there. This is the first time I've ever done something like this, and invited some people to come along with me. And y'all just hung in there. I know it's been a long, long night, a long discussion, but a great discussion. And thank you all so much for. I don't know what happened to our two panelists. But thank you all so much for coming on, Dee Dee and Mariel and Diva and Steven. Thank y'all so much for your time. We out of here. Before I get off though, because this is a gardening channel, right? So I couldn't leave without doing this. I got some seeds in the mail today, and it came from UT33 and Angel, and it was a surprise. I didn't even know they were sending. So they say, hoping these seeds make it to you in good health and happiness. Share, save, or grow as you see fit. Not just the gift from us, but also the entire gardening community. Thanks tons for the friendship, UT and Angel and Kids. So I'm so excited. Thank you, UT and Angel and Kids. So I got tons of seeds up in here in these little packs. It doesn't look like a lot, but it really is, y'all. It's a ton. They really gifted me. So thank you so much. Have a good night. Till next time. I love y'all.